What's going on, people? It's your boy, brasstax, baby. Hope you guys are doing good. This is a video I feel that I owe you, and is a video long overdue. So we're gonna get to it. And there's another topic I need to address, which is fake reviews. And we're gonna get to that too. We're gonna get to all of it, but we're gonna get to it in a bit. Firstly, I'm just going to talk to you about why I started doing this whole YouTube thing back in the day, because don't get it twisted, before AR had any media, before Shane had any spare change in his pocket, before Jeff had any films at home to review, before 1316 was even a killer, it was your boy brasstax. I've been doing this near enough 4 years now. Reviewing 4K Blu-rays. Not necessarily the first, because there were some other smaller channels that were doing it off and on. I was definitely the first one who was using my channel predominantly as a 4K channel. What's going on, people? It's your boy brasstax here. It is hot like crazy, but what can you do? Doesn't stop the videos from happening. Gotta put this out. So now we're gonna talk about 4K. I have the Samsung J9500 65-inch 4K HDR TV, okay? And I've got a Samsung Blu-ray player, 4K Blu-ray player, the piece of shit that they released this year. Let's just keep it real, people. It's a piece of shit. It does a job, plays Blu-rays very well, but it's clunky as hell. Also, I've got a ton of 4K Blu-rays. The reason I started doing that is because when I first invested in 4K, I wanted to see the reviews, so I knew what I was getting myself into. I didn't know how much better it was going to look. I didn't know whether I was going to be blown away or not, so I would go to sites like HD Digest, Blu-ray.com, and I'm not knocking those sites at all, but I would see some of their reviews, and then I would watch the movie and think, man, this review doesn't add up. They were saying it's amazing, and I don't see amazing. I see good, and I see some improvements, but I don't see amazing. And obviously, depending on what disc I picked up would yield different results. But I wasn't overly impressed, and I thought, look, I'm an average consumer. I'm a tech guy, but I'm not a tech specialist. I've never claimed to be an expert reviewer. That's not who I am. I don't even think an expert reviewer exists anyway. Not in anything, because everything is subjective, everything is down to opinion. It is what it is. But I digress. I just started thinking, you know what, let me start doing my own reviews, just for the average consumer. The only thing I really wanted to know was whether it was any good, whether it looked good, whether it sounded good, and more importantly, whether it was worth the double dip, because I had most of these movies on 1080p Blu-ray. So is it worth the upgrade? And I think when I started, that's really what I wanted to get across. Is it better than 1080p? Is it worth the upgrade? And I started, and then off to the races we went.
Thinking about this, I couldn't help thinking about this whilst I was watching her, right? Her main thing is luck. She's always lucky. Does that equate to the bedroom? If I'm her man, how does that benefit me? If she's lucky. I don't understand.
It was great, and then others came along. Spare Change came along. My boy Spare Change, doing great things. And one thing I do pride myself on this channel is, whether it gets one view, whether it gets thousands of views, is I've always been true to myself. I've always been that way outside of YouTube. I'd rather tell the truth that sheds a tear than tell a lie that creates a laugh. You know, so I've always been that kind of person. I'm pretty much straight up, because the way I figure, I want people to be pretty straight up with me. Yeah, so just no nonsense 4K Blu-ray reviews. You know, I go back, looked at my first video, and I thought, shit, that was some embarrassing shit right there, because what it is now to what it was then is totally different, the way I review things. Now guys, let me explain one thing to you. Let me explain the review process, okay? Firstly, let me tell you about my tech I got. So in my main room where I watch stuff, I've got a Samsung 75-inch Q90R in this bitch. Yeah, 75 inches of greatness. Don't let a girl tell you that size doesn't matter, because it does, okay? That's what I'm gonna say about that. And to accompany that, I've got a HZ9 Sony soundbar with the rears. You got the Atmos effect, okay? It's not gonna give you the amazing Atmos effect, but with the rears, it produces excellent, and I mean excellent music, excellent surround sound, and it is a beauty. It is gorgeous, gorgeous sound here. And a lot of people have been asking me about this bar. It depends on where it's situated. To get great overheads, you're gonna have to raise the soundbar to like
nose level to what you're watching, which means I guess the TV is going to have to be elevated pretty high, right? When you do that, you get great overheads, great surround sound, but the soundbar ain't shit without the rear speakers. As far as the Q90 goes, god damn, this is a beautiful TV. It was a coin toss between this and the C9 when I picked it up, and I picked this up purely because I game a lot. And I know what you're going to say. A lot of OLED users are going to say that screen burns fine as long as you're responsible. Now, I'm pretty responsible, but I can't speak to the other people, the girlfriend, the family. Sometimes I want to come over and watch shit. And, you know, when they're watching things, they leave shit frozen in certain areas. And it's something that I wouldn't really want to worry about. And that's the great thing about the QLEDs. And the QLEDs are pretty phenomenal. And I will say the Q90 is as close to OLED as it's going to get. Not OLED, but as close. And you've seen screenshots and everything. It looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. And you know, with the rise in 8K televisions, I'll probably pick an 8K TV up maybe at the end of this year, maybe next year. I want to give it some time. Just let it marinate a little bit. There's no 8K content. And what I do worry about is reviewing 4K on an 8K screen, because you know it's going to be upscaled and you know it's going to look even better. So I don't want to say to you a movie looks great, fantastic, it's a reference track, when in fact maybe it's not quite there. But it's the reason it looks even better is because it's being upscaled. So that's one of the reasons that I've stayed away from 8K so far. But if I do get an 8K TV, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's probably gonna be another QLED. It's probably gonna be a Samsung. I don't want to worry about screen burn, even if it's 10% or 20%. I just don't want to worry about it. But it's a phenomenal TV, and I highly recommend Q7, Q8, Q9s as well. They were all fantastic. Over at my friend's, who just lives about 10 minutes away, he's got the LG OLED C8, I believe, and got the Oppo player with the full Atmos setup. So sometimes I'll go over there, watch stuff. Sometimes I'll stay here and watch stuff. It all depends. Especially when I'm reviewing something that has Dolby Vision, because obviously my TV doesn't have Dolby Vision. It has HDR10+, but no Dolby Vision. And even he says to me, get an OLED, but there is slight screen retention on his screen. And another reason is my TV's insured. Insurance companies over here in the UK do not cover against screen burn. That's a big no-no. If they did, I might have got an OLED. But what I do is I watch the 1080p over here, and it's going to be upscaled because you got a 4K TV, so it's going to look even better than it should anyway. And then I watch the 4K in full and compare it back and forth along with the sound and everything else. What I then do is I take screenshots of the movie and I post them. By the way, join my Facebook page, goddammit. It's brasstax, surprise, surprise. And for every movie I review, I post 10 to 12 screenshots of what you're seeing, unmodified. So you kind of get the gist of what it's looking like. There's a link in the description. Just click on that link and it's got all my links to all my other shit. So yeah, that's pretty much the review process in this bitch. Let's talk about the bullshit. I don't like bullshit. I don't like snaky shit. I like people to be upfront with me, and I'll be upfront with them. This topic specifically has been addressed a number of times by myself and by Spare Change. So it's a little bit redundant. No, when it starts really rubbing me the wrong way is when you have fellow reviewers who kind of throw shots. And what makes it worse is they throw shots and then they contact either myself or my boy Shane through the inboxes on the comment sections, and they're like, listen, how'd you get it so early? Let me know so I can increase my, so I can start putting earlier reviews and what have you. And then they do a video knocking us, saying, oh, reviews can't be real because of such and such. I buy physical media, Shane buys physical media. I don't get any review copies. Do not one. I do get sent some headphones from time to time to review, and I review them. And if it's a bad review, I say to them pretty much straight away, look, I'm going to call it down the middle. You need to know that if I don't like it, it's going to sound horrible. The review is going to sound crazy because of the style in which I review. And usually I get some free headphones every now and again, and I have put headphone reviews up. But 99% of things that I review, I buy. I don't get review copies. People are too scared to send me review copies. A couple of years ago, I tried to get in touch with the review company, just saying, hey, look, send me some discs. And they saw my channel. Because let's be real, I have come down hard on some of these titles. The Last Jedi on 4K, god damn. Forrest Gump, one of the Mission Impossible transfers, even Dracula, and I got a lot of hate for it. But that's how I felt about it. I call it as I see it. I'd like to think that that's the reason you guys subscribe to me in the first place.
Now, I hear you, there's a lot of people out there who are Star Wars fans. And I'm thinking, maybe we made a mistake. So I would like to apologize for absolutely nothing. It's a spot on review. If you don't like it, I don't know what to say to you.
Throughout the years, I've done 4K I've done 4K Blu-ray collections. I've shown you what I have. Throughout the years, I've done unboxings. I'd like to feel that I've garnered a little bit of credit from you guys for what I've been doing. And for the most part, you guys have been great. But there are some who are taking jabs at your boy and Spare Change, specifically because of our review style. We don't always show the discs, so we must be reviewing the streams. Okay, let's get one thing out of the way. I live in the UK. Anyone who lives in the UK will tell you that if you're talking iTunes, you guys get your streams at least a couple of months before us. And even your 4K Blu-rays for that fact. 90% of the time, I'm not reviewing UK 4K Blu-rays. I'm reviewing imports. I know a vendor used to be on eBay, and there is still one or two who are on eBay, but I'm not going to call them out because they've asked me not to mention them by name because they don't want to get in trouble from the companies. So there are a couple who get them before street date. Most retailers get them 1 or 2 weeks, maybe even a month before street date. I'm watching a reviewer's video saying, oh yeah, well PR companies haven't sent them out. Oh shit. I know how PR companies work, and yes, they send review copies out early. 90% of the time, retail stores get their copies first. Just because they haven't sent the promo discs doesn't mean people don't have them, so don't be stupid. Secondly, if all you're getting is review copies, how can we trust you? You're getting freebies, free content, not paying for anything from all these PR people, from Warner Brothers, Universal, Lionsgate. All of these people, you're getting free discs. Have you ever done a bad review? I don't know, I'm just saying. I don't watch your shit, so I don't even know. But yeah, just makes you think. I pay more than street value for my shit. I'll give you an example. Shane obtained the retail copy of Gemini Man a week and a half before review copies went out. This has happened to a number of titles. Go back when I was showing the discs, you'll see your boy was number one in the scene with nearly all of them. 3 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance. Don't talk shit. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Your boy's been doing this a long time. I know the difference between a 4K disc and a motherfucking stream. It's the sideways shit that bugs me. You know, you make a comment on my boy's page, then you delete it so it looks like you haven't made a comment, but we got screenshots. So I don't think you want to put down people who've been doing this a long time. Just go back, check my videos. You'll see the shit. I've always done it. It's just easier not to. And people keep coming back to me because most of the time I feel I'm spot on. There have been a few reviews of people that said, nah, you said this was okay, but I thought this was referenced. But to each their own. And that's pretty much it, people. I don't do copies, I don't do torrents, I don't do any of that shit. This may be a shock to a lot of you people who've been watching me. We're actually a police family. I know some of you people saying shocked, oh shit, police family, I thought he was treating this bitch. Oh yeah, your boy pays top dollar for his shit. And I review it accordingly. There's shit I don't like, shit I don't like. Shit I love, shit I love. Your boy gets them early. But that's just the way it is. Stop throwing shots. Now, to the new people who have subscribed, I can understand why you could see his point of view. Like I said, I've been doing this for 4 years. Just go back and check my shit. Your boy has been legit the whole way through and will continue to be. There was a time I was doing unboxings. I just stopped that because it wasn't generating any interest. That's another reason why Shane doesn't do it. And maybe when I change the format, which is going to come soon, maybe I'll show discs, maybe I won't, but it won't be because of you. Trust me, I got plenty of films at home. Your boy out.